The accused is saying it's not possible that this picture was taken in 2014 on the 2nd of September because he was in jail. How did accused number 3 take a selfie and invert or mirror his image with this cell phone? Mabasa. That's where I say Mabasa was right with regards to the mirroring, but accused number 3's phone did not have a front camera, and that's where we need to focus our energies. He does not trust the state.
And I'm bad like the Barbie. I'm a doll, but I still wanna party. Pink felt like I'm ready to bend. I'm a 10, so I pull in a 10. Like Daddy.
Hello and welcome to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Nogwazi Ntombela, also known as Gwazi Bear on all social media platforms. Do subscribe, be a part of this family, and if you are a returning subscriber, welcome back, darling. Now, as you know, every week I give you my weekly analysis on the Senzo Meyiwa trial, so I'm here to do exactly that. Before we get into the video, don't forget to like this video, don't forget to share it with your family and friends so that everyone is aware of what is going on in this trial, and also don't forget to leave a comment down below just sharing your thoughts on the proceedings for the week. So without wasting too much of your time, let us get right into this video. This week's proceedings started on Tuesday, as Monday was a public holiday in South Africa, and with the proceedings on Tuesday, Mnisi came through with an application because, as you know, accused number 3 had voluntarily requested that he be taken to a dentist in order for him to dispute or rebut the evidence of the state with regards to a gold tooth that is being indicated on the photos that the state has provided. With the Mnisi's argument, he basically gave a background as to how the application came about, and also he did point out a few very important facts with regards to this application, where he says that it is unfair for the photos to be led in the first place because when the accused were arrested, they were given enough time to basically formulate the defense, and right now it seems as though the accused are requested to start from scratch or start de novo with regards to their defense because of new evidence that has been provided by the state. Another important thing that Nisi points out in his application is the fact that although the pictures have been led only recently in the court, the state in its entirety has had these photos in their possession for over 10 years. Now, if you remember, accused number 3 was arrested in 2015 for an Alexander case, and this is where the phone was said to be downloaded. So the state, not particularly the people that are investigating this case, but the state being the police, had possession of accused number 3's phone from as early as 2015, which means they already had these pictures way back then. Then he also indicated that now the people that are now involved in this investigation in the Senzo Meyiwa case have been involved from the year 2020, which means they've had these pictures in their possession with the involvement of accused number 3 from as far back as 2020, which is 5 years. So it's unfair that the state is saying that they only got the opportunity to look through their own evidence only when Mnisi was preparing the defense for accused number 1, which makes perfect sense. You cannot have photos all along and now only decide now that you want to use them. But the judge has ruled that the photos can be used. They were led, and this is where we are now. Nisi did quote some authorities on the day, as well as Section 35 of the Constitution, subsection 3, where he says the accused has the right to a fair trial, and basically he needs to be given adequate time to prepare for his defense. And right now he hasn't been given sufficient time, and that is the reason why they are requesting now for this dental examination for the accused. Another very important aspect that Mnisi touched on is the fact that objective evidence holds significant weight in court, and basically without it, there will be doubt. Mnisi also brings it to the attention of the court that accused number 2, Untanzi, also had allegations against him about a gold tooth, and whilst the state was still busy with their investigations, they took it upon themselves to take Untanzi for medical examination or a dental examination to Dr. Tlokwe. With that, Ntanzi was able to conduct his defense with regards to the evidence of the gold tooth. So Mncube is just requesting that he be afforded the same opportunity to be taken to a dentist to prove his case when it comes to the gold tooth that is said to be identified in his pictures. And part of his arguments, he says that the state needs to acknowledge the fairness for not only the accused in the court, but for South Africa as a whole and the people that are following this case. He then goes to quote some of international laws, where he says that there's articles in the European laws and also the African Court of Human Rights. He quotes a few things from there as well. And in closing of his arguments, he does say he doesn't see a reason why this application can be denied, as it does not prejudice anyone. After the break, Ramosipile then began his arguments, where he quoted an authority that speaks about the court ordering fingerprints or blood samples to ascertain if an accused had certain marks. And he does argue that a gold tooth falls within this distinguishing feature that should be looked into as far as the defense's case is concerned. A few of the other cases that Ramosipile mentions are S versus Mapumulo, as well as Nkosi versus Barlow, and another case as well. And he does say that it is in the interest of justice that Mncube does get this test done. When Ramosipile had completed his arguments, Nxumalo raised the same sentiments with regards to accused number 3 being examined. He says he quoted a case, S versus Mulemi, in his argument, and he does say that it's unfair for the state to say they forgot to give this evidence, because as far back as 2023, when Mabasa was here for the first time, they already had this information. Malo also does mention that he sees no prejudice when it comes to this particular application, as all of the accused are in support of the application. And one other aspect that he touches on is why this is required. He says that this is very crucial in the defense of accused number 3, so it is something that he feels should be approved. And another thing that Nxumalo mentions, which I feel was very important, was the fact that if the defense, if the witness's statement is not challenged by the defense, then it is assumed that the defense accepts it. So the fact that Mncube is challenging the witness is proof that he does not accept what the witness is saying. When Nxumalo was done with his arguments, Mshololo says she doesn't have any arguments to submit. She does agree with the applications of the other 3 advocates. After the break, then Sibanda responds to the defense, and he quotes a few other cases and basically says that Mnisi brought out the issue of Makaleni, which referred to the gold tooth during cross-examination. And the judge does say that he does not recall that evidence where Mnisi spoke about a gold tooth or Mnisi interviewing Umakaleni or anything of that sort. When Sibanda was done with the responding, the judge had a few questions like the photos may have always been there, but the state was unaware of the photos, to which Sibanda responds, yes, the state was not aware of the photos. And he then questions the fact that Mabasa added light to the photos, which for me is editing the photos, and Sibanda does agree that it was just zoomed in and out. Guys, this is editing. It's editing at its best. Nisi then responds to Sibanda by saying that this is not just a flimsy application, and it is so that they're able to cross-examine the witness, and they're unable to cross-examine the witness without having the full information or having the accused's version confirmed with a dentist as well to back up their cross-examination. Musipili, who seemed to be paying very much attention to what Sibanda was saying in his response, then also responded and said that it is not true when the state says the photos cannot be edited or manipulated, because when Officer Ndlovu, who was the witness before Mabasa, came in, both Mshololo and Ramosipili questioned the issue of editing of photos, and Mr. Ndlovu did say that this is possible, and he even went as far as saying he himself can edit pictures. After those arguments, the judge then just questioned whether they will be sitting during the recess, for which Mshololo says she's unavailable. Ngumalo said he's available. Advocate Mnesi says that due to the workload that he took on when preparing for accused number 1, he does need to rest. And Musipili indicated that he does need to service other clients. With that being said, the judge then made, I would say, a ruling with regards to the application by Mnisi, and he said that court was persuaded based on the arguments, and therefore he will grant the application for the defense. And he basically questioned when the tests will happen and what arrangements need to be made for Umncube to be taken to a dentist in order for that to be confirmed. And one of the things that Umncube mentioned on the day is that he does not trust the state. And that's granted. He has every reason not to trust the state at this stage, but he says that even if they do take him to a state dentist, he would still also like to go to a private dentist as well. We ended the proceedings on Tuesday with those arrangements in talks with regards to taking accused number 3, Umncube, to the dentist, and we were set to reconvene on Thursday, the 19th of June. On Thursday, the 19th of June, after confirming with the witness on Tuesday if he'd be available on Thursday, and he agreed that he'd be available, Mr. Mabasa was nowhere to be seen in court. He did indicate through Sibanda that he did have another case that he was attending to and would only be available on Friday, 20th of June. So we did not have a witness to sit in on Thursday. However, Sibanda did indicate that the results for the dentist, which we were not prepared for, have been received by the state and have been given to the defense as well, and that they would be exhibit DD4 in brackets C of the record. And he did try to hand up these results to the court. However, the judge said he cannot take the results in as an exhibit because there is no witness on the stand, so we'll hold they would need to put that on hold until we have a witness on the stand. So the evidence of Mabasa, or the cross-examination by Umnisi of Mabasa, was put on hold until Friday the 20th of June. Now, on Friday the 20th of June, Mabasa did indeed come to court and his cross-examination commenced, where Umnisi basically touched on how he was approached in order for him to compile this new exhibit. And he does say that he was approached by Muhola. He was requested to look for an open mouth with a gold tooth and a smile or whatever with accused number 3, and that is exactly what he did. And at first he says that he could not see the gold tooth in the picture, but after his analysis, then suddenly he could see the gold tooth. Now, some of the things that Mnisi questioned were what was expected of him when looking at the pictures, what was the shape of the gold tooth, and all those kind of details. And in all honesty, what Mnisi, I feel, was trying to do in this moment was try to get a feel of, was trying to get an idea of what is it was he looking for when he was looking for the gold tooth. Was it on the right? Was it on the left? Was it a full gold tooth? Was it an L-shaped gold tooth? All the specifics that he was looking for when he was looking for this gold tooth. And to be quite honest, the brief that he says he got from Mahola was not very clear. He didn't tell us whether it was on the right or left. He didn't tell us whether Mahola told him to look on the right or the left. He didn't tell us he did tell us about the shape. He said the tooth is fully covered, which means it is a full gold tooth like I have on my right side here. On numerous occasions during his cross-examination, Nisi went back to the question to ask if the downloads that he had were exactly the same as the downloads that were on the USB stick, or the downloads that came from the memory card were exactly the same as the downloads that were in the memory stick that he brought to court. And on all these occasions, Mabasa did agree that the downloads were exactly the same. Mnisi then says that the state did lead evidence through Keninda, where Keninda identified the person in a particular picture as being accused number 3, and Keninda did say that this person also had a gold tooth on his teeth, and Mabasa then confirms that yes, he does see a gold tooth, and according to Gininda, it is accused number 3. So when Mnisi asks him if he agrees with the statement by Gininda that that's accused number 3, initially Mabasa says yes, he does agree with that. He then requests that the photos be beamed side to side, being the picture that Gininda spoke about and also the picture that Mabasa spoke about, where they both say that the pictures are reflecting accused number 3. Mabasa even went as far as saying it's the same person, just a different picture. Now, when the pictures were beamed on the board, Mnisi then used a laser to try and point at the pictures. And for some reason, he pointed it in the eyes of Mabasa. And as he pointed it in the eyes of Mabasa asked if that was a threat from Mnisi. And Mnisi does say that it was not intentional. However, Mabasa's response is that now if I can't see the information that you're requesting me to see, you must know that it's because of the laser. And I was like, what? Nisi then refers the witness to the first picture, which was the picture on the left-hand side of the board, where he asks what does he see. He does say that he does see a gold tooth that is reflecting on that picture on the upper jaw, and Nisi does say that Gininda had initially said that this was accused number 3. Sibanda then objects and says, well, Gininda did say he might have made a mistake with regards to who was in the picture. And then Nisi goes into the next picture, which is the picture on the right, and asks the witness what he sees. The witness does then confirm that he does see accused number 3. He knows this is accused number 3 because he has worked on his phone and he can also recognize his face in court. Now, when Mnisi asks the witness who is that on the first picture, the witness says it's difficult to say, but it is accused number 3 according to Gininda. Now, when Mnisi asks, does this person look like accused number 3? The witness does say, yes, it does. He asks this very important question in relation to both the pictures, where he says, when you received the request from Mohola, where did Mohola say the gold tooth was? And the witness then says, on the picture, it's on the left-hand side. So on the first picture, it's on the left-hand side. However, on the other picture, it's on the right-hand side. And he even goes as far as saying it could be because of a selfie. Now, this is the whole confusion that got the country up in roars with regards to the picture and the explanation that the witness gave with regards to a selfie. Now, guys, I will personally say from my experience that Mabasa was correct when he spoke about the selfie mirroring the actual picture. And I like to give examples so that you guys can clearly see. I will try to put up a picture over here of myself taking a picture with my back camera. I will also put the properties of the pictures below so that you can see that it was taken with my back camera and all that information. And then I will put up another picture which I take with my front camera, which reflects in my image in mirroring sort of format. And I'll tell you why I say it is mirrored. Now, for those of you who don't really know, I have a piercing on the right hand side. So this is my right hand and I have a piercing. Right now I am recording with my back camera, right? I've also got a gold tooth on my right hand side. So everything of mine that I've just explained is on my right side. However, when I record with my front camera, then everything is on the left. And I will show you that through the pictures, and then I will tell you what Sibanda did in court that got me like, this is fraud. So here is the picture. This picture was taken with my back camera. As you can see, the piercing is on the right, on my right. And this is the second picture, right? Now, when I look at the picture on my phone, the piercing is on my right. But if I turn the phone and face it in my direction, then the piercing is on the left. So that's where I say Mabasa was right with regards to the mirroring. But accused number 3's phone did not have a front camera, and that's where we need to focus our energies. This is a very, very important aspect that I decided to investigate on my own. Now, as per evidence on the 24th, let me just confirm the date quickly. As per evidence on the 24th of May in 2024, Mabasa says accused number 3's phone was a Samsung GTE 220. I will try and attach a clip over here.
Paragraph 6. The information contained in the XRY file was as follows. Samsung GTE 2220.
Samsung GTE 2220.
The number was 0727.
I took it upon myself to do my own little investigation, and I found the picture of a Samsung GTE 220, which looks like this. Now, I don't know if it's my eyes, but you guys can maybe zoom in, zoom out, Google it yourself. This phone does not have a selfie camera. So how did accused number 3 take a selfie and invert or mirror his image with the cell phone? Mabasa, you have got to be shitting me. Now, the highlight of the week for me was not just about the phone, not just about the mirroring, but it was this particular evidence right here, where Mnisi then cross-examines the witness, and he says, firstly, the version of accused number 3 is that this particular photo was taken in 2012. It was taken in Phosphorus, and it was taken by his then girlfriend. And basically the witness says, okay, I hear you. And then he asked the witness, according to your records and according to the downloads that you did on his phone, when was this photo taken? And he says that the photo was taken on the 2nd of September in 2014 at 16:32. Now you need to listen to this very, very carefully. Accused then says his version is that on the 13th of January in 2013, he was arrested for a completely different case unrelated to the Senzo Meyiwa case. And he was in prison from January 2013 right through until the 17th of September in 2014. And he asked the witness, do you follow? And he says, yes, I follow. Then he says, then the accused is saying it's not possible that this picture was taken in 2014 on the 2nd of September because he was in jail. He was in jail. Now that is the least of Mabasa's problems on the day, because then Mnisi goes further and says, this very same picture is reflecting another date on here on the phone, and it says that it was modified in 2014 July the 16th, right? And when he asked the witness what is the meaning of modification, did he not lie? Did he not say modification means when you switch on the phone and switch it off, then the memory card, dates change? And I was like, what? Mabasa's lies when I catch you. Then he says, yeah, modification is basically when you switch off the cell phone or you take off the memory card, then it will just reflect as modified. And Mnisi's like, no, I'm referring specifically to this picture. This is one and the same picture. It's reflecting 2 different dates, one in July and one in September. So how is that possible? But now the most important thing here, or the funniest thing here, is the fact that a picture was taken in September but is already modified in July. How can you modify a picture that does not exist? Because you only modify, edit, not switching on and off of phone. Modifying is editing. When you edit a picture, it will change the information on the picture. So this picture was edited in July of 2014, but was only created in September. Njani Mabasa. After the break, after that drama of the lies of modification and the lies of the picture, then Mabasa then indicates to the court that when a picture is taken, as I said, things that are on the left will apply to the right. And when they got back from the lunch break, they did try to make an example of this particular fact, and they basically used Mabasa's phone to try and indicate where the position of himself and Jonas, the interpreter, would be on his phone. So he took photos, and he was said to send the photos to Sibanda so that Sibanda can beam them on the screen. Now, what happened in this moment is something I really feel is disgusting when it comes to the state, specifically Usibanda, because he edited the picture live on television, right? Now, what the judge requested is that Mabasa's phone be passed around in the courtroom, right? And when the phone was passed around, everybody had a view of what the picture he had just taken looked like. Now, what Sibanda did, or what pissed Umnisi off in this situation, and I will demonstrate it because I'm one person that loves seeing things. Pay attention. What pissed Umnisi off in that instance is that when they saw the photo, look at me, the green was here. Can you see the green tree? And then what Sibanda did is this. Which side is the tree now? I wasn't in court, but Umnisi's freaking out indicated that that is exactly what happened. Let me flip it back. Nisi saw this in the picture on the phone. When Sibanda put it on the screen, or when he received it on his phone, he did this. Now you understand why Nisi was pissed off and saying that it was edited. So back to normal. So basically, that is what happened in court, and Mnisi was very angry with what was going on, or what was taking place, and he basically said that the picture was edited, and he even went as far as saying he doesn't even want to begin to talk about the consequences of what will happen if it is found out that the picture indeed that was taken in court was fidgeted with. Mnisi does continue to go on saying the pictures are edited, the pictures are edited. He also does say that he does have his own observations about what Sibanda has just done before the court. Then the judge says, if you have any further questions, ask the questions. And Mnisi basically says, I'm having observations about Sibanda assisting us here because he's clearly fidgeting with the machinery. And the judge then says he needs to bring his own person to operate the machinery in court. And Mnisi does say that the accused doesn't have his own person because he is in prison. The judge then says, no, but he is in prison and he was able to ask for his own dentist, which is very disrespectful of the judge, if you ask me, because what does the Mube offering to pay for his own dentist have anything to do with him getting his own person to come operate a computer in court? And then you want to talk about fairness in this court. And he also goes as far as saying to the witness now that, do you remember when I asked you if the information on the memory card and the memory stick was the same? And you said yes. And then and then the witness does agree to this. And then when Mnisi says, now I've got a USB in my hand and I want you to show me that the information that you have is exactly the same as the information that you gave to the defense. And Mabasa then says, no, he'll show, or he can assist in taking the USB from the defense. And Mnisi says, I don't even trust you two after what I've just witnessed Usbanda doing here in court, so I'm not giving you my USB. The witness then says he wants to explain something, and he does then start explaining a whole lot of rubbish, if you ask me. He first says that he made a mistake. He was mistaking memory card for USB, so the information does change. The information is not the same because it's a copy, and a copy doesn't reflect the exact same information. Some of the information changes. That's where I was like, no, let's just close this case. Let's just close this case. Let's just forget about getting justice in the Senzo Meyiwa case, because what nonsense is this? He says, no, the information is not the same. He made a mistake. And Mnisi says, but do you know how many times I asked you if the information was the same? I asked you 4 times. And on all 4 times you said information is exactly the same. Now that I'm telling you that I've got a USB that you gave me when we had a conversation with the state and we sat down and we picked the pictures and everything, now you're saying that the information is different. So now my question is, if the information that the defense was given is different to the information that Mabasa is testifying on, what did the defense actually build their defense on? I don't know if I'm making sense, but is this even a fair trial to begin with? Because the information that they were given to even begin with is not exactly the same as the information that Mabasa downloaded. If that is not an unfair trial, I don't know what is, child. Now, he does just say that he just made a mistake. He confused the two. And yeah, basically that's it. And the judge basically says, oh, so experts don't make mistakes. Basically trying to rub Mnisi up the wrong way. And when the accused offered to basically assist with the USB, Mnisi says, no, you'll forget. You'll forget. So Mnisi doesn't trust the witness now with the USB stick as well. So those were the proceedings for the week in the Senzo Meyiwa case, and to say I'm disappointed is an understatement. To say I'm shocked at what Sibanda did, understatement. But I cannot wait to hear the results from the dentist, because Mnisi was about to touch on that, and then he indicated that Jonas had a family engagement to go to, and therefore they requested that the court adjourn. They have indicated that they will be sitting for 2 weeks during the recess, just in order for them to finalize with the last witness as well as Ginenda, I assume, and then we will be going on recess. So those are the proceedings for the week. I hope that you guys enjoyed them. If you did, don't forget to give this video a big like. Enjoy your weekend. I will see you next week. Bye.